In the Creo drawing, have you come across to location grid command, or have you used the drawing's views without specifying projection angle in your drawing? In my previous company, I came to know about this hybrid projection approach, in which views are placed irrespective of projection angle. The key advantage what I feel is, views can be placed anywhere, by defining interrelationship between parent and projected views, and that gives us the flexibility to utilize drawing space, without projection angle restrictions. Not only that, in the large assembly drawing with multiple sheets, interrelationship between views defined by grid reference also helps, in detailing the design intent, in a systematic manner. The basic idea of using grid reference can be better understood as this.
Zones. Often a drawing is divided into zones by a grid, with zone labels along the margins, for example, A5, D2, or B1. This feature greatly eases discussion of, and reference to, particular areas of the drawing.
I have used this drawing approach in the NX software. Today I am going to show how to exploit the grid functionality on the Creo software, and implementing this projection approach. To start, first rename the views with respect to the base view. In this example I am going to rename the base view to be V0. Then next view's name as follows, V1, V2, V3 and so on. To add projection arrow, I need to use to auxiliary view, so that single arrow can be placed instead of double arrow. I will repeat this step for the top view also. Want to know how I formatted the view labels in this drawing? Then you should check out my another video by clicking this link. In this you would also get to know the required configuration settings for the automatic view labels. After arrow placement, let's add grid reference to the views. I will use Mapka shortcut to speed up the process. If you notice closely, the view grid reference parameter is and POS_LOC, separated by colon, view, again colon separator. In the last we need to enter the view name. Make sure you use the correct view name for which grid reference is being placed. And there is another parameter specific to detail view note. That parameter is in this format, and POS_LOC, separated by colon, parent_note, again colon separator. And in the last we need to enter the view name. How this works, let's see by activating the grid location. If we move the detail view note in the parent view to another grid zone, the grid reference of the detail view is automatically updated with the respective change. In Creo, the view grid reference is defined by the view center, not by the view label location. That means, if the view center is moved to another grid, only then grid reference is updated in the view note. But in the NX software, I have seen that the grid reference is defined by view label position. So be aware of how your software interprets the grid reference. Since we have defined all the required relationships between parent and its child views, now we can place the views at a suitable location to better utilize the sheet space. Or by moving views to the different sheet to capture the required design intent. Grid reference will update automatically in the notes, if moved in the same sheet, or needs to be regenerated to update the notes. Once done, your drawing is ready for the easy navigation across sheets. Thus the relationships between views by grid reference gives you the most needful information to easily find the view of interest in the multiple sheets drawing. For section view, again you should rename the view from the drawing tree. There could be the possibility of doing it wrong like this, when section arrows are placed on the view other than the parent view. But you can see, I have pulled this section view from the base view V0. So always ensure you define the correct relationship between parent view and child view label. And finally, when document is revised for a particular view only, the view grid parameter can be utilized in revision table also. I have automated this one too, as I did not want to worry about parameter name, or typing it wrong at the first place. Like this example, I hope you would think of using map keys in your design process, and try to make them foolproof. This was the drawing part of using grid reference notes. Now I will share you how to make your drawing ready for the grid reference. The grid reference is defined in the drawing format you use. Let me open one for this example. Once your format outlines and title block imported or defined in the format document. Also define the sheet boundary with equidistant grid frames, as per number of grids required by format size. If you click the location grid command, you can see there is no grid defined. To access the grid definition setting, either double-click the sheet size below, or click the Sheet Setup command in the document group. The commands in the definition menu are in the sequence of steps used to define the grids. First step is to define the grid outline. By clicking on this, you would have two options. I am going to use the pick box option, and pick the inside corner points of the grid frame. Next step is to ensure that we have correct start point for grid labels. This can be modified by grid origin command. Notice that X symbol is moved to upper left corner. The third and final step is to define columns and rows labels, and their numbers. After clicking on the columns or rows command, you can enter the number of columns or rows as per the grid frames in your sheet. Here you can also toggle the label from letters to numbers, and numbers to letters. Now you can preview the defined grids and labels by location grid command. This is how you can define the location grid in your drawing format, and you can start using them in your drawing. Hope you have found this video useful. So don't forget to like the video, do comment, and share within your team. Thank you for staying till the end.